have that because you have this kind of ramp thing going on with them. So if I'm here on him, and I'm trying to get this angle right because how big he is, I'm trying to, even if I pass this lapel and do everything right, I fold. Here's another thing, guys. Come over here and kind of see this right here. When we pull this lapel, I want this to add a little detail. I want you to fold it like this to go into their armpit. That's key, because anything less than that, it becomes weird trying to grab it back here. And you don't get a full benefit of really getting in there and biting under their armpit. There's a super benefit to folding that thing the right way. Now, what I was talking about with him is I can push off the inside, but watch how I take my heel and I roll my heel back to push off to where I'm going here. I'm not here because as I do it, he can step on my ankle. Yeah, crap, I just created. Now I can't, as he turns my hip, I lost all the pressure on his jaw. Let my ankle go, watch how it comes back. So I can turn my hips. If he turns my heel like this, I lose that pressure, okay? So that's why I want to keep that heel, so I roll my heel towards my tailbone to get that. I can still push off this when I'm still pinching his knee. I don't have this much anymore, so I need to get a little bit more, like Dave was talking, I need to get a little bit more push off the feet on the inside, but I turn my heel in as I do that. Does that make sense? So what I want you guys to do is do the same thing we did on Tuesday. Fold the lapel the right way, and then push off the inside leg by turning your heel in to get a little bit more pressure. So you won't be pushing off the outside leg, but the inside leg and the outside leg to get a little bit more pressure to that choke. Make sense? On three, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's not lose sight of what our purpose is. Yes, we love to choke the guy. Who would not love to choke guy from top side of half guard? Of course, because most people don't expect that to be an option for the top guy. They don't expect it at all. But what we're doing is we're creating a scenario where the guy is like, what the heck? And he starts going crazy to get out of that position. And it gives us the knee cut to side body. It gives us the mount transition. So we use this to set up the pass, right? The problem is the people get you in a half guard and they lock down. And we're not talking about, there's a position called the lockdown. We're not talking about that. We're talking about they lock you down. They're hoping that you go crazy and you're trying to get out of this position, and they use the energy to sweep you, either to regard or sweep you, either come up into like a single leg where we've learned before, he comes to a single leg and pops to his knees, or, you know, as I'm trying to go crazy, he goes under me, rolls me over. That's the two basic options of a sweep from half guard, right? So you have the, you know, kind of come out the back door style, single leg, or they kind of go under you, scoop you over style. Or he regards, he gets a fuller guard, you know, one that he can incorporate both sides of his body against both sides of my body. Okay, so when I'm here and I'm playing this game, it's like he's kind of buying his time to figure out what's going on. Even if he Napoleon's here, and like I told you before, you don't have to do this. We don't have to do this with that lapel. If I can't get it, I can. If I get deep enough under his armpit and get a hold of this kind of lat muscle right here, if I can get a hold of that with my fingers, just right there, I've got enough bite that I can drop this in. I can still apply this pressure. Notice I'm still pushing on the ground inside. Now, the risk that I run into is if he tries to ridge and roll me behind myself. So as I'm doing this, that's why I tell you guys to push your head over here. Bridge and roll me away. Yeah. And here's the boom. There's the mount transition. He didn't like the pressure, so he's like, ah, cool. Thank you for the mount. Does that make sense? So we're using this to get us the pass. The guy can get tapped here. But most people are going to go like, no way, this is crazy. I feel like I'm getting choked. Let me get out of here. And he gives me the mount. He gives me side body. So what I want you guys to do is set up, and on your own, discover the pass. So put the pressure on the guy goes and bridges and rolls. Think about the mount, or think about coming to side body. That's what we're gonna play with right now, to understand this position. On three, 1, 2, 3. Interest that I'm gaining as the top person. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting interest on this. I'm getting interest, because you're getting wore out, because you can't totally relax on the bottom there, and that's the whole point is you gotta, and so if you find the guy kind of relaxing, that's why it's important to kind of use the robot face, you know what I mean? Like I'm not showing my weakness to you, either one, is because the top guy may be thinking, okay, what I'm doing is not working, and he may move more, and the bottom guy can use some of that movement to his advantage to get out, create the space that he needs. Same as the bottom guy. If the bottom guy doesn't show his weakness, you know, that once again, that top guy starts moving, but if also the top guy's like, hey, I'm good here. I'm good, bro. Like, you think you trapped me, but I'm right where I want to be right now. And the bottom guy's like, oh, crap, I got to do something. This sucks. Especially when there's a choke being involved and there's pressure being involved. I feel like his head's getting turned off his shoulders, all these things. And now he's forced to have to do something. Because we all know when we roll, it's like, am I losing right now or am I winning? And especially those weird positions, it's like, man, I feel like I'm stalling right here. I feel like there's this weird pressure that exists. And that's the cool thing about this position, because the guy on top has all the cards. He really does. The bottom guy's chill. As long as you don't let that inside leg get straight. Once that inside leg gets straight, the guy can now manipulate your hips. Because we talked about, come here, Ryan. We talked about on Tuesday that it's all about manipulating each other's hips, right? So I'm using this leg to manipulate his hips, and he's using that leg to manipulate mine. The issue is when I'm here, he can't really manipulate my he can't really manipulate my hips, but I can manipulate his. Does that make sense? He really can't, because his manipulating for me is what? To be able to shrimp, to get his guard back, to be able to come up and do a single leg on me, or to go underneath me, to take me and roll me over him. Right? For me, I can control the position where he feels all that pressure. That's what I'm saying. I still have a tool in my toolbox, which is pressure. His is sweeping. He doesn't really have a submission. I mean, you got like, maybe a choke here or something like that exists, but he's got to sell that up. Really, I have all the advantages right now, and I'm putting that on him and saying, you cool here? I'm cool here. You cool here? And he's like, I'm not cool here. I was like, cool. What are you going to do about it? And then he gives me what I want. Does that make sense? And that's what, don't get in the half going, I got to pass. No. I'm going to chill here. You got to get me out of here. It's on you, bro. He's like, well, I'm good here. Well, no, I'm good too. How about this now? You still good? No, I'm not good now. Okay, what are you going to do about it? That's the philosophy. Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to roll. I'm going to have you guys do 1 minute on the leg with your partner. Play in this position right now. So we're going to actually spar from this position right here and try to play with this. And you're going to get rolled. The big thing you're going to run into is you guys are going to be trying to put all this pressure. You're going to do all this, and you're going to turn your shoulders. This is going to happen to you as the top guy. We've got to weather through this. We just got to understand how to balance this. And here's the problem. Watch my shoulders. Pretend I have everything. It doesn't really matter. My shoulder, I cannot do this. Because as soon as my shoulder is not parallel with the ceiling, I run the risk of getting rolled. I've actually invited him. I've kind of set my body position up to be rolled. Go ahead and roll. Yeah, there it is. Very simple. Look at that. So how do I do it? I put pressure here. That's why I came here. There's the pressure. Now my shoulder blades should be basically parallel with the ceiling. He's going to have a much harder time. If he does roll me from here, boom, he's got to really go for it. That's that mount exchange we talked about. So if you screw that up a little bit, he can launch you. If you do it right, you will get the mount if he tries to do that same exact bridge. Okay? All right. Understand that's what we're going to be doing. On 3. 1, 2, 3.